Hey folks, Larson Halleck here. Are you a fan of Larson Halleck and the Barbaric Gentleman? Of course you are, otherwise you wouldn't be watching. Would you like to help the channel grow? Would you like to help me out? If so, here's how you can. You can go to patreon.com/LarsonHalleck and join the ranks of these illustrious heroes. You can also go to www.paypal.me/LarsonHalleck to also donate some money. You can also buy my book. The Patreon, the PayPal, and the link to my book are all found in the video description. You can also follow me on Twitter or on Instagram. I no longer advertise my Gab because Gab sucks. And if you support me enough, I'm going to make Larson Halleck, the motion picture, in which you will get to enjoy a riveting 4 hours of me and my friends playing grab ass in a public park. All I need is $90,000 to do it. And now, our scheduled programming. Hi folks, Larson Halleck here, and welcome back to Failsons. Today we have a very, unique gentleman. A fellow Larson, as a matter of fact, and also an accountant, politician, and a pedophile, white supremacist, and Sharia law advocate. Woof. Nathan Larson. Now, Mr. Larson isn't a failson because he has his divisive beliefs. Well, I mean, he is a failure in a moral sense, but he is also a failson in the traditional sense, meaning he is a 37-year-old barely employed dweeb who lives with his presumably extremely disappointed parents. So here's a picture of Nate, and oh boy, look at that comb over. A man with all the soft, wimpy charms of Jared Kushner, but with big heaping dollops of psychopathy and male pattern baldness. We're in for a treat today, people. Anyway, let's briefly talk about his biography before we get into his political beliefs and his personal life. Nathan Larson was born in September of 1980 in the state of Virginia, apparently near Charlottesville. Ah, for fuck's sake, Charlottesville. Christian Weston Chandler, Unite the Right, and now this guy, Thomas Jefferson, is rolling in his goddamn grave. Nathan obtained a degree in accounting from George Mason University, and has intermittently gotten honest employment doing that. He then became a member of the Libertarian Party of the USA, which should tell you all you need to know about those clowns, although to their credit they kicked him out in 2017. In 2008, Nate was arrested for threatening to kill President-elect Barack Obama, and he served 14 months in prison. But thanks to Virginia's Governor McAuliffe, convicted felons can run for public office. Mr. Larson is a self-described red pill libertarian. Again, reminds me why I don't refer to myself as red pill. His platform for his 2017 run for the Virginia House of Burgesses included eliminating state funding for girls' education, repealing the 19th Amendment, and legalizing both polygyny and child pornography. Oh, and the legalization of interspecies marriage as well, for the fine connoisseur of horse flesh. You see, it all comes together. I mean, only some plebeian would fuck a mare or a stallion. Fillies and colts are where it's at. And I quote, "How are we supposed to have sex with toddlers if they have to pass a test on sexual knowledge first? Why not give them some first-hand carnal knowledge instead?" Nate, this is really not the hill to die on. In his 2018 manifesto, now sadly offline, he advocates benevolent white supremacy and legalization of marijuana and repeal of the Violence Against Women Act. Well, 1 out of 3 ain't bad. Oh wait, yeah it is. 33% is a failure. Knowing where his personal views stop and his political views begin is a bit hard to discern because his political platform is very, incel and pedo-centric. Not just the abuse of children sexually. Allow me to introduce you to Child Wiki, a crappy Wikia page for children's liberation, in which he discusses how cannabis is great, as cited in the movie Half-Baked, and advocates that children have a right to drive cars and ruin their lives. You know, I really wonder why he's specifying the right to ruin their lives. Nathan Larson has quite the prolific internet presence. He posts under his own name, under the name Lysander, which is presumably referring either to the ancient Spartan general or the character from A Midsummer Night's Dream. I mean, I presume he has a lot of reading time when he's sitting around unemployed at his parents' house. He also posts under the name Luco Tiste, which I presume is garbled Greek for white something or other. I mean, to be fair, I am not a glorious incel neat master race who can sit at home reading all day. I have a day job. So if somebody could tell me what Luco Tiste means, do inform me of that. In addition to his random forum posting, he also owns several websites, like Incelocalypse, which is an even more idiotic way to say the beta uprising. As a former beta male myself, I'm going to say this outright. There is never going to be a beta uprising. A bunch of guys who can't look a cashier in the eye when they speak to them. They're not going to be leading any armed rebellions, okay? And as you can see from their forums, there is constant infighting between these people. The only thing these people will ever amount to is the occasional violent spurg out and spree murder. Also, why do collections of sexless dweebs love the word apocalypse? One of the reasons I made Incelocalypse's slogan, "The day we make the jailbaits our rape slaves," was to put that on every page so that it would be really unmistakable to even the casual reader of Incelocalypse what we were after. A political platform has to be simplified to its essence, and in this case, what it boils down to is an image of sliding into virginal jailbait pussy. That is our goal, and it's a worthy goal, because it's by doing that and constructing the patriarchal structure that enables and supports that we build strong families and replenish the human race, so that all the other work of civilization can continue. It is an aspiration that is currently beyond the reach even of most normies, because of how degenerate the society has become. A 19th century man would have said that it's absurd that one wouldn't be able to get some virginal jailbait pussy. He definitely would not have seen anything abusive or perverted about wanting it. Now, to be fair, I myself am in support of slightly lowering the age of consent to something like the age of 16, if only to prevent the cases where an 18-year-old will literally go to prison for having sex with his 16-year-old girlfriend. If Nathan Larson were campaigning on that, that would be somewhat understandable, but as you shall see, he is not. Also worth pointing out that even in his own little political movement / cult, Nathan Larson is not an unchallenged voice. There are reams of verbiage between incels arguing about the various types of cells: old cell, rape cell, buck cell, true cell, vol cell, fake cell. Even Nathan Larson is accused of not being an incel because he has in fact been married, as we shall see in a bit. But why are there so many people fighting to be a part of this goddamn thing? Anyway, before we get into his personal life, let's see the results of the election. Wow, less than 2% of the electorate in every single election he has ever run in. Turns out that the good people of Virginia are not into some tweety dork talking about, "I want to fuck my prepubescent daughter." And yes, you did hear that right. You want to hear about that? I've basically said everything I need to say about his political career. Let's talk about his family. Nathan's dumb fuckery extends far beyond the political. He is also a terrible husband and father. Yes, I said husband and father. There is perhaps a very good reason for the incels to not support this man to an extent. Seeing this guy makes me have even less sympathy for the incels, if that was possible, because A, they support this guy, and come on, if this guy can get a woman to give birth to his child, you have nothing to complain about. Wife number one, who is sadly no longer with us due to suicide, is Emily June Miskiagna. I don't know how to pronounce that. Is that even a real name? They were androgynous asexual genderqueer. Okay. This apparently means that, much like Venom, you want to be referred to in the plural. They worked as a dog groomer and prostitute, were a nudist, and they had a polyamorous relationship with Nathan Larson. I just don't understand anymore. Why would an alleged incel, who is obviously extremely misogynistic, want a relationship that by definition would allow his woman to sleep around? What is logic? Then again, patriarchal white supremacists sleeping with LGBT people is hardly anything new. Ain't that right, TRS? And here he is, transcribed on some podcast where, surprise, he brings up fucking his daughter, the one he had with they. Jesus, this guy is literally running his political career on, "Please let me fuck children." Again, Nate, not the hill to die on. And here's a few select quotes pertaining to Nate's daughter, who thankfully has no pictures on the internet. Assuming some of you have daughters, would you plow them if given the chance? Yes, probably. When she was younger, I wasn't sure, but now that she's older and I can see how cute she is, I lean more towards it. When she became a teenager, I would want to fuck her all the more. Teen girls are kind of like pizza. It's hard to resist taking a slice if you can. Would you make her your rape slave if you could? I mean, why not? Just because she's my rape slave doesn't mean I have to rape her. I can if I feel like it. You never get to visit her? No, the divorce was a messy situation. Oh well, hopefully I get to impregnate her someday. Anyway, here's wife number one being naked and holding a very unwilling cat. Okay, wife number two, Michelle, is a extremely mediocre looking Filipina. Extra, read all about it. White supremacist marries dumpy Asian woman. Well, at least she filed for divorce from him, so this mail-order bride has some amount of dignity, and thankfully she was at least smart enough to not have children with this clown. But yeah, I just can't imagine why this guy's wives would want to separate from him. I'm gonna put the whole world on notice. My daughter is my property. Her pussy belongs to me. I love her so much I can't resist getting naked with her and making babies with her, just like I did with her mother. I can see why Joseph Fritzl wanted to put his daughter in an underground dungeon. When you have somebody that precious and irreplaceable in your life, it's tempting to want to deprive her of all freedom and devote her life to bearing and caring for your children. I want to hold my daughter captive and make her my rape slave, putting her someplace where I know she will be chaste and her pussy will only be for me. I just want to continually impregnate her. I don't know if Nathan will run in the next election. I mean, it's not going to be this year, of course, but he has other things to occupy himself with, like his crappy websites for degenerate perverts and pro-pedophilia memes, which I didn't even know were a thing. Like, what the hell is this even? I wasn't aware that there were loud internet arguments between pedophile advocates and greasy fat men supporting Christina Hendricks. Anyway, although I should point out this is literally the 2 out of 10 would not bang meme come to life. So that's Nathan Larson. He is a failure in all respects. Morally, career-wise, and politically. He has a college degree, and yet somehow he's up there in the annals of fail-sonnery. He doesn't get his ass whipped constantly like Charlie Zelenoff or Richard Spencer, and he's not a poncy, soft wuss like, well, Richard Spencer. But the fact that Nathan Larson has continuously failed at his career and is an absolutely repugnant human being who embodies every negative stereotype of an incel besides the stinkiness, and I'm not even sure about that, makes him one hell of a fail-son. I am and will remain the superior Larson. Fuck this shit. Here's a word from our sponsor. Hello, my friend. Are you frustrated with the machinations of Western women? It's not your fault, it's theirs. So what can be done? Try some Eastern European women, straight from the FSU to you, ready to be swept off their dainty little feet. I mean, what else is she gonna do? Go out with some guy wearing a tracksuit? If you're interested, go to simplydating.com using the affiliate link provided in the video description. Sign up today, and remember, the more services you purchase, the closer you'll be to finding her. Go forth and find your little Diev.